Now, any mushroom with the word Satan in its name, or anus, is probably something I'm not going to eat. Panaeolus cinctulus, it turns out, is a psychedelic mushroom.
Whoa!
Found some already?
Yeah.
Awesome! Howdy folks, we went down to the local skate park a few days ago after some heavy rain and decided that we would go for a little forage looking for mushrooms. We found 3 different kinds of mushrooms. One of them was a Volvopluteus Gloiocephalus. It's apparently edible, and in fact Perth, Western Australia, was one of the places where they used to actually sell it in the markets, but it's apparently not very nice. It's kind of mushy and you might use it in soups and stews and things like that. We decided not to pick any of those. The second mushroom that we found was quite an interesting one. It was kind of banded around the outside. It's very beautiful actually, and I picked a few of those and brought them home just to have a look at. And it turns out that it looks identical to a mushroom called Panaeolus cinctulus. Panaeolus cinctulus, it turns out, is a psychedelic mushroom. So I thought I should double check. So I did what's called a spore print, where you take the mushroom, stick it up a cap on a piece of paper, put a glass over the top so all the spores fall directly underneath and don't just get blown away in your room. And then in the morning you could take the glass off and have a look at the colour of the spore print, because it turns out that there's another mushroom that looks exactly the same. Anyway, so I took the what I thought might have been a Panaeolus cinctulus or this other mushroom and flipped it upside down, did a spore print, and it turns out the spores are brown. That means it's not a Panaeolus cinctulus. That means it is a Panaeolus Foenisecii, or something like that. It's a bit hard to pronounce, quite frankly, these mushroom names. Anyway, so the Panaeolus Foenisecii is also an interesting mushroom. It grows like crazy, and they call it the mower's mushroom, apparently, because you find it in lawns a lot. We found it in a lawn. Okay, the third mushroom that we found is a kind of bolete. Now, I did a bit of research and it turns out that most boletes are in fact edible. There's hardly any toxic ones. There are a few and they make your tummy a bit crook. But apparently there's no deadly ones, at least they haven't found any yet. Now, the one that makes you most sick is called Volvopluteus Satanas. Now, any mushroom with the word Satan in its name, or anus, is probably something I'm not going to eat. We're down the local park where the kids skate, and we reckon we saw some slippery gills down here the other day. Not slippery jacks, but slippery gills. And so we're going to see if we can find some again, as we've had a few days of rain, and I reckon we probably will find some. And if we do, we'll take them home, eat them, see what they're like. I heard they're pretty good.
Whoa!
Found some already?
Yeah.
Awesome! That looks like them.
And over there.
Get out! Look at that! Now, what's interesting about these is that they have these pores underneath instead of gills. The pores you can eat, but they apparently go quite mushy. So we've got about half a dozen. We'll try them, see what they're like. If they're any good, we might come back for more. Apparently you can preserve them pretty well just by slicing them up and drying them. So we'll see how we go. Alright, so we're home with our slippery gills, and apparently you prepare them the same as you do slippery jacks. And if you're watching this video right now, then I live to tell the tale. So, basically what you got to do is, they got this skin on top. You got to basically peel that off the top. This one doesn't peel all that well, but it does peel a bit. There you go, look. Right, so let us get the knife under that, and we'll just get a bit of this skin off. Oh, that was a nice bit. And these are apparently super delicious, just fried up with a bit of garlic. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So you just take the skin off the top. That can apparently make you a bit crook. Check the underside for, apparently there's a bit of a grub that can get into them. So you check the underside for the grub that can get into them, and if there's none of them, you're good to go. Now, if you have a look underneath there, it's porous. See, it's got pores. Those pores release all the spores. Most mushrooms, all the mushrooms that I've ever eaten before, have gills instead of pores. Alright, so that's the top cleaned up. Underneath of that's a little bit dirty, so I'll give that a bit of a clean. I'm actually going to break the stipe off like that, and I'm going to peel the outer skin off that as well, just to give me a nice clean thing to eat in the end. We might have actually picked these just a tiny bit late. Might try and go back down and see if we can get some younger ones in the next few days. But when we were there was loads of like really black ones that had clearly already done their dash. So it's quite a prolific mushroom down there. And it would be real nice if we're able to just go down there and get a feed every so often after rain. Here you go, look at that. I feel real good about that. It's starting to get real nice and clean. Taking the gills and everything off these, and just going to cut them up into little slices that I can fry. That'll be nice, won't it?
there.